So Dimon, I'm sure we got a ton of questions about transfer, but let's start with Tuesday. How'd you feel you did Tuesday?
Tuesday, I felt like I brought what the team needed out of me, but there's a lot of stuff I always could do better. I didn't rebound the glass like I like. Um, Missed the two free throws that I know I could make. Practice that every day. It's just small little things that I feel like I can do better defensively. I let a couple guys go by me. It's just small mistakes that I want to fix. The little things matter to me.
Well, I'm kind of talking, wondering, with you being one of the new guys coming in this year, have you done with this, West Virginia Pitt rivalry coming up tomorrow? Have you done any like research on it? Asked other guys about it? Have you had other people come up, like fans, telling you about it or anything like that? I mean, how quickly can you get innovative with this rivalry? The short time that you've been here.
That's funny you say that. My first day was about this game. They did the first day I got here, they brought up the rivalry between Pitt and West Virginia. I don't know the history or how long it goes back and stuff, but I do know it's very important. So I'm trying to get us a W tomorrow.
Who was it that said it?
I'm pretty sure it was just the team. We was just talking about in the locker room right before conditioning or something like that, and everybody was just bringing up how big that game's gonna be and how much the people pop out for it. We love the fans, so we want to put on a show for y'all.
You've obviously played in other rivalry games with somebody. I mean, what's it like playing in a rivalry game? Is it bring more energy than normal, or what's it like?
It definitely brings more energy than normal. It also changes the atmosphere in the game. You feel everything way more intense, a lot more pressure on you. But you feel me? Diamonds are made in pressure, so you just gotta shine through it.
What's the largest crowd you've played in front of? I mean, they're gonna be 14,000 there tomorrow. So
I think it was like 20 something at NC State and Mississippi State. 2 years ago in 2019, before COVID, I say that was probably the biggest game I played of, and then before that was probably my JUCO days playing in the national tournament there in Kansas and Hutch. Probably had 14,000.
you played in front of big crowds. So
Po-
what's the energy like when a place is full?
the energy is great when the crowd is there and everything's full. Only thing is it's hard for me to hear on the court. But other than that, it's great. I love playing in front of a big crowd. I feel like you get the best out of me in big situations like that.
Well, if you mess up, you can just blame it on the crowd. Then. Tell
Nah,
coach you can hear it.
can never blame it on anybody. Always gotta take the fall.
So your backstory. I mean, you've had some. You moved around some. So take me from high school to JUCO to FIU.
Oh, that's the process right there. So high school, I stayed at the same high school, Cambridge Region Latin. One of our legendary alums, Patrick Ewing, considered the top 75 player, probably the best ever come out of Mass. So I played there. After that, I was gonna go to prep school at Woodstock Academy. Things didn't work out there. I left in the first 3 days. I ended up going to Bunker Hill Community College with my former AAU coach, my first ever AAU coach, Coach Nakuma Jones. He just helped me get my confidence back in the game because after that prep situation, I lost a lot of confidence in myself and my abilities, and he helped bring it back. He told me halfway throughout the year I need to leave. I'm just killing a D3 JUCO conference. So I left, went to Eastern Florida, didn't like it there. 2 weeks of starving there. Then we head over to Odessa. Odessa was a great fit for me. Love Coach Bucket. Love everything they do over there in West Texas. Um, then the commitment to FIU came after taking a couple visits. I picked the FIU over a lot of other schools just because of what they brought and what they said they would bring out of me. They have a pick and roll system mainly there, and that fits my athleticism a lot. You can catch me on lobs. It was just the way to see my abilities the best, and the game plan they set for me just fit. And then what brings me here, when I was at Bunker Hill, my D3, you guys, West Virginia, was playing in the tournament. And y'all were at Northeastern. I was at that practice. Y'all recruited me out of D3 and D3 JUCO, not just the D3 college, but D3 JUCO. So the fact that the loyalty was still there, the love was still there when I entered the transfer portal for this 5th year, just had to come to a place that felt like home. So that's what made me end up at West Virginia, just the loyalty.
What is D3 JUCO like
Um,
compared to this? Or maybe anything.
Probably hear this word a lot now, but it's the trenches compared to here. You don't get the same setup. Yeah, you might get a nice court depending on where you are, but those schools aren't funded by alums. Most of their money just goes back into actual school for players, especially being a community college. It's hard to actually get funding for schools like that. So you see the difference in nutrition, traveling, just even competition. You see a big difference. I say the main thing for me was D3 JUCO transferring to here. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to nutrition. I just couldn't eat the same way I eat here. I gained 35 pounds in 3 months coming here.
Paulie was in here a couple of days ago kind of telling his story about going through the transfer portal. And, he kind of said going into the transfer portal, even though he's done it twice, he says it's a scary thing because you just don't know how it's going to work out and stuff. I'm just kind of wondering, did you kind of feel the same way when you went into the portal this summer or this past?
I was beyond scared. What a lot of people don't know is you have probably, 3,000 kids with D1 offers out there. Every year the transfer numbers increasing. It was 1,700 kids in there. So you put those numbers together, that's 4,000 to 5,000 people, plus the JUCO kids with offers. So it gets really scary, especially knowing that seniors can come back and all that stuff. So there's a lot of teams that don't, there's a lot of teams that might have interest in you, but you're not going to end up picking that school. So it's really, really was tough decision to enter that transfer portal. But luckily, I did something that a lot of other players didn't have, which was a great block percentage, I guess. And I got a few calls, and I was one of the lucky few that still ended up going to stay in the D1 because I know a lot of people that had to lower their level.
When you went in, was it a matter of just wanting to see if you could get to a bigger school, test yourself, or kind of talk about what it was that got you into it?
That was my main goal, was to test myself at a higher level. I feel like I can compete with anybody, so I wanted to just up in the conference. Conference USA, probably a top 10 conference in the country. I loved it there. I played a lot of great people that got drafted. But yeah, it was time to come play with the big dogs in the Big 12.
Besides West Virginia, who else, this last time out, were you interested in, was interested in you?
I was going to take a sacrifice to Duquesne for an old teammate in high school so we could play together. Things didn't work out. Other than that, I can't even really remember. Once y'all called, it was over with everybody else.
Also interesting, a Boston kid in West Texas at Odessa. What kind of culture shock was that?
You'll be surprised how many of us end up at West Texas and Odessa. You have one of my BBC players that came before me, Tyree Robinson, was there. One of my big bros, Kay, he went to New Mexico after that. So yeah, we had a couple dudes there. The cultural shock was different. I ate a lot more Spanish food and Mexican food while I was out there. But other than that, it was a great experience. I just love it in West Texas, except all the oil fields. That was just different for me. I never seen that before.
Don't have that a lot in Massachusetts, huh?
No distance in Massachusetts.
Anything else?
You're if I remember correctly, you put together a highlight tape when you hit the portal, right?
Yeah.
Tons of dunks and rebounds, or block shots. I mean,
Yeah.
Which is kind of what you did, I guess. But is that when you couldn't travel a whole bunch and do stuff, and you want to get out there among all that competition? I guess how important was that in the process? Who helped you? How'd you narrow that down, or was that all you?
I've worked with the same people my whole life. Basketball started for me, my freshman year of high school. So when I ended up being a senior, my team had one vigor autography dude. His name's Wayne, and I just stuck with Wayne throughout the whole process. Wayne gets all the access to all that stuff because he's been all over the place working with the WNBA to NBA players. So I really just put my faith into the people I have around me. So he made the tape for me. Other than that, he made the tape, and I just let the tape go. I was gonna make one anyway, even if I wasn't gonna enter the portal or not.
Did it help? I mean, it kind of pictures 1,000 words. That was a lot of pictures.
It definitely amped up a lot of people, got hit up, a lot of interest from big schools because of that tape. I guess a lot of people were looking for a shot blocker.
You mentioned high school. What kind of pressure is there to go to a school that produced Patrick Ewing? And I mean, does everybody that comes through there sort of feel that guy over top of you?
You stand on the shoulders of giants when you're in Massachusetts and going to Cambridge and Latin. We have Emil Robinson, Louis Ford, a couple dudes before that went to the league, but Pat's just the biggest name. And for me to be a center, yeah, I felt like it was a lot of pressure. When you walk into a gym, you see now there's 4, but when I was in high school, there was 3 jerseys up there, and it was the 3 names I just mentioned. Louis Ford was the newest, Ramel, who went to Michigan, who went to the NBA, and then you have Patrick, Georgetown. And I'm trying to be the next one up there. But you feel that when you walk in there, like everybody feels that this is Patrick's school. He built that.
Have you met him?
Yeah, multiple times. Played with his nephew. He came to his nephew's senior night. Took a picture with him. I felt that was the first time I ever felt little.
The block you had the other night on Tuesday, when you come up from behind and got a pretty good swat on it. Is that like a top 3, top 5 block for you, or is that just an average night?
I'm gonna keep it 100. That's just an average night. That wasn't. You're gonna see a crazy one come on, catch something off the backboard with 2 hands and come down with it, or catch a dunk with 2 hands and come down. Like, I have some crazy blocks. I get dunked on every now and then, but hey, it's gonna take a lot for you to catch me slipping.
That one was pretty good. That block was pretty good.
Appreciate it. You're gonna see some better ones coming.
Did you watch any of Sagabal Kanate when he was here, his tape? Because he was known for stuff like that.
That man was a different breed. We 2 different types of shot blockers. He a muscle shot blocker. He'll muscle with you in the air. And me, I don't know about all that. Depending on what you look like, I'm gonna come from behind and swat it. But yeah, I watched a lot of film on him and how his timing's just great. He just meeting the ball at the rim. His vertical is crazy for him to be a little bit shorter than me, and to have all that extra weight on him. He's just impressive to watch. So yeah, I watch a lot of his tape, and it just helps me go along with what I'm doing here now, because this level different, really high level here.